Hello everyone. Today in this booktube I'm going to talk about the plot of the story Lord of Flies by William Golding. Whoa. First of all, the story Lords of Flies opens in the midst of a war with a group of British schoolboys stranded on the desert island in the middle of the ocean. Two boys, Ralph and Piggy, meet each other near a lagoon. Once they all schoolboys are joined together, they vote for made an election. Ralph became the chief of the team due to his age, charisma, and performance. Jack, who also showed leadership, turned his group of boys into an army of hunters. The older boys, called Ralph, Piggy, Simon, and Jack, did the majority of the work. However, the younger boys preferred to play rather than work. But they were afraid of the beast, who the older ones say that it was a product of the nightmares. After exploring the island, Ralph decided that the boys should try to build a fire in order to signal the passing ships. However, this first attempt was a disaster because the fire burns out without control and burns a part of the island where a little tent goes miss, and Jack was obsessed about hunting. Afterwards, Ralph, Jack, and Roger search for the disappearance of the beast and investigate the new part of the island. At the next meeting, Jack called a cab so he could probe the cowardice of Ralph, but the boys had refused to call Ralph out of office, so Jack, in tears, leaves the group of boys. After, he convinced the boys to leave Ralph's group, and they moved to a place they had discovered recently that was called the Castle of Rock. Ralph, Piggy, Simon, and Subneric are the only ones who remain in the original group. At Piggy's suggestion, they attempt to create a new signal fire on the beach, but far away from the one they had done before. That was a disaster where the beast had been discovered. Meanwhile, Jack and his group of hunters hunt and cook a pig in effort to tempt the rest of the boys from the other side. However, Simon witnesses the hunt from his favorite spot in the forest, and when the hunters have gone, he hallucinates having a conversation with the head of the pig that it was called the Lord of Flies. Ralph, Piggy, and Samneric attend to Jack feast. This time, all the boys argue with Jack, talking about the priorities of the island and what they could do. The other boys beat Simon to death because he had mistake about the beast, before he could tell the truth to everyone. So the guilt over Simon's death applied to Ralph, Piggy, and Samneric the other day. The next night, Jack hunters raids Ralph's camp and steal Piggy's glasses so they can make a fire. At Piggy's urging, Ralph, Piggy, and Subneric go to the Castle of Rock, where the other boys, or where Jack group was living in, because they had moved before. Ralph tried to assert the power of the team, but it no longer dured because all the boys were with Jack. This time were Jack's side. But as the hunters prepare to attack Ralph and Piggy, Roger rolls a boulder down the side of the mountain where he knocked Piggy to his death, and he shattered the group. In addition, Ralph returns to the Castle of Rock, on the way passing through Piggy's favorite spot and discovering the Soul's Head. Ralph speaks to Subneric, and the twins tell him that they have been tortured joining Jack's group, and they could be possibly planning an attack on Ralph next day. When Jack's group were close to reach Ralph attacking, a naval officer appears in the island by the forest fire. Um, he told the boys that he was disappointed about the attitude of the boys while surviving in the island, and finally the boys, in tears, recognize the perversity in which they comport and how they make things because of wanting to survive and wanting the leadership of the group or the team. However, they also survive as the naval officer rescue them. Well, this is the end of the story. Hope you like it. This was my booktube.